The NeuroDADverse podcast is produced by Squid Shack Studios.
Hey, I'm Ben.
And I'm Dan.
We're both fathers,
We're both married.
and we're both raising kids with diagnosed neurodiverse conditions.
Parenting is tough, and we're not saying it's harder for us, just different.
And sometimes that different can be hard to explain.
That's why we've created the NeuroDADverse, a weekly show where we share our wins, our challenges, and all the neurosparkly and neurospicy bits in between.
Our hope is to create a safe space for parents to share their own highs and lows of neurodiverse parenting. And just to remind you of three things.
You're doing great,
You are enough.
and you're definitely not alone.
So welcome to the NeuroDADverse. Right, hello.
How you doing, man? Happy Sunday.
I'm good. I'm good. It's Sunday. The sun is shining and it's good. And everyone else, welcome back into the NeuroDADverse. This is a podcast about, well, I've done that wrong. I'm getting professional at this. It's fine. It's a podcast for, about, and definitely by parents of neurodiverse children. How this works, if you're listening to us for the first time, is that Dan and I get together and we share our biggest wins and our biggest challenges of the week. And we get into some conversations about what it's like to parent neurodiverse kids. And then we also look ahead to what our weeks are like next week. And finally, we grade our bath time scores this week. So we always kick off with our week in 3 words, though. So, Dan, how was your week in 3 words?
My week in 3 words. Quick. Quick. I've won the week, and what was my 3rd word now? I've totally forgotten. Quick. Enjoyable.
Quick, win, and enjoyable. Cool. Exciting times.
Yeah.
Exciting times. That's
Well,
good.
how do we sum up yours?
I've gone relaxing,
Ooh.
anger, and athletic. It's exciting. Yeah, no, it's quite the roller coaster of the week. I think as headlines, they're probably a bit more. It's a bit less exciting than those headlines. But right, on to challenges and wins. So things that might come into my challenges or wins this week is the fact that both the kids went for a sleepover with my mum. This morning, Mabel had a football game, like a pre-season game, and this week Oscar's been gaming a little bit more online. So some of those might be my biggest wins, and some of those might be my biggest challenges. What about you? What's in the canon for you this week?
So, what may or may not be included in my wins and challenges this week? We had additional day of club this week. Mummy and Daddy had an evening out, making new friends in their unique way. And no, I think I'll stop there. See, that's made my week sound maybe a bit more interesting in reflection.
Exciting.
Yeah.
Well, hey, this is nothing not other than a good reflective process. I don't know where my words have gone today. I think I might have used them all up yesterday. Because we met in person yesterday.
We did.
Which is always lovely. But I feel like I've used up all our conversations, so I'm not sure how this is going to go. Shall we go both do wins or both do challenges this week?
Let's do challenges first this week.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. I'll go first. So it's not a huge challenge, but it's one that's it's a behavioral change or shift into which you would have witnessed when you were here, your brief visit yesterday morning, where Frankie is now seeming to be much more prepared to eat any kind of food or drink, now sitting on the sofa because he wants to watch TV while he eats. It started off being the occasional sort of thing like crisps and things that aren't going to make a mess, but now he wants to eat macaroni cheese, he wants to eat his beans, his yogurts, his cereal, where there's a lot more room for error, with the coordination, which obviously then results in more cleanup and obviously. So yeah, he's usually been really good at sitting at the table. We have a TV in our kitchen. We normally put that on. He's quite happy to sit there. But yeah, the last sort of week and a half, 2 weeks, I'm noticing he would have a meal at some point out in the living room, but now it's pretty much all the time. It's actually more of a chore now to try and get him to be in the kitchen. Not sure why, but I mean, I know the sofa's obviously more comfortable. But yeah, that's probably like the new challenge on our front to see if we can reverse that behaviour.
Yeah, cool. I mean, I think though, like we always said, this podcast is not about comparing our challenges to other people's challenges, just sharing. But I did get the sense then, as I was listening to you talk, as you were listing off the kind of food that he eats, and I was going, that is a broad palette and diet. That's great for that. Like you're taking those little wins out of those challenges. Oscar doesn't have that varied a diet, and not that it's about comparison, but boy, do I wish that he'd experience all those bits. And then it's kind of like the other sensory needs are about comfort and where they're sitting. So much is different. Like the primary care givers are different because you guys are working. You have like extended family come and look after him. He's not got the routine of school, and so it might just be one of those things. But yeah, it was fun yesterday because we had a scenario where when Oscar was that age, putting Oscar through that you have to sit at the table thing was just not a thing. Like Laura and I don't have the timetables where we'd all sit down and be able to have dinner at the certain times. And then go to social occasions, we just wanted to be happy. So Oscar was often under a blanket. So I said yesterday when I was with you guys, it's like whatever like Frankie needs, and you were very much like, it's fun, we'll try. But it was a joy to see him yesterday because it was just like he like recognized me again, which was nice. And he was very clear that like he wanted to communicate with me in a particular way, and it was great. Got me outside, made me sit down. Wanted to play around with my like stretched ear thing, and I stupidly took it out, didn't I? Because I was like, "Oh, it comes out," and then all he wanted to do was learn out how that was. But it was just, it was great. It was a joyful thing to experience. But yeah, it is a challenge because obviously you don't want just to have a run of that socializing and getting them to sit at the table can be really tough.
Yeah, I suppose it's that. Yeah, I mean, firstly, we know that we are lucky that Frankie does enjoy a larger array of foods to definitely some of our sort of SEM friends in our local community that, quite a few of our friends are like, is it ARFID? Is it ARFID? Yeah, they very minimal eating. They find it hard to get their
I don't know.
nutrition and stuff like that. So yeah, he is particular. Like he likes what he likes and he doesn't what he doesn't. Standard to every other human being on the planet. But yeah, he does. He wants to eat multiple of the same thing usually. So he can't just have a yogurt. It will be, can I have 3 yogurts over the course of the day? And it's just trying to navigate that because, but yeah, when he's trying to do it, like at the moment, he's now in the phase where he's just like, I'm just going to go to the cupboard. I'm going to take something out. I'm going to run to or go into the living room because we might not necessarily. I might not hear he's necessarily opened the cupboard. He's doing it more stealth ninja style now. So just walking in.
You're going to get more
like,
data.
What are you doing? Yeah,
you're going to get more data because he's at home or more of the time. So
yeah, that's it. So it's not a huge challenge. It's just a behavioural shift I'm now seeing.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, well,
how do I communicate? This is enough. And we were talking about, weren't we, like social stories, like how much, like you got 3 ice lollies in the jar and you take them out or whatever. But it's just tough to keep going because also, on the
everything
face of
changes.
it, kid wants an ice lolly. It's hot. Have an ice lolly. But then equally, you got all of that worry kind of stacks up and like, oh no. But
and if he gets his own way here, he might try to do, because obviously, we've had the challenges with Bath. Like he used to just love jumping in. Now it's a bit more of a will he, won't he coin flip. So yeah, but I also, I said when we first started the pod, the summer holidays are a very different beast. It is very much its own season in the course of the year. I do believe in, every day ends, everything's a phase. This might just be the phase because he's not at school, but yeah, it's just trying to. That's probably. I say I've had a really good week otherwise than
You
not to
you
rub it
also
in if you've
mentioned
not had a good week, but it's like it's just been very
well,
different this week actually.
we'll
So
get onto what.
that's yeah.
Yeah,
So
we'll get onto my challenge in a second, but let's one very quickly. You said yesterday, like the difference this summer than what you were feeling last summer halfway through was like it's definite upgrade, and I was like, you need to sit in that for a second and go, look how far we've come with communication, with
100%.
little language. So that's great.
Yeah, that's
Um,
the main breakthrough. Really, is we've worked out non-verbal communication for
mhm.
multitude of situations now. So yeah, there's a few things, but definitely his understanding of English and my understanding of Frankinese has definitely improved.
My challenge, I thought it was going to be the kids sleep over with my mum, and I think it was to a point, but also there's been a bit of a I've been ruminating quite a bit, and I think it's one of those scenarios that we just talked about. More evidence or more access, interaction with
Uh-huh.
your kid over the summer months means that you probably I definitely overanalyze more than I would do because I've got more data coming in, right? So, and it's just that they're gaming a little more on their phone and in online, and therefore they're spending a lot more time solitary in their room, but they're having a wonderful time. And I'm just sometimes running away with ideas of like, oh, like you're going to find it really tough as you go through life wanting to have that online interaction with friends and then not necessarily knowing and getting stressed out through gaming. He's gaming with friends from from their school. So that's been getting me down a bit, if I'm honest, this week because I've been trying to go, why don't you come game with me? And oh no, but I'm with my friend. And that wasn't like, oh, I wish they'd spend more time with me. It was more, you've been in your room for the majority of the day, only coming out to eat. And I know it's a safe space, and I know it's fine, and we don't. Anyway, so we're trying to manage that with having a few more outs. So that's been on my mind. But the biggest challenge this week was probably leaving to go to the sleepover. Um, the sleepover in itself was an absolute win. Which yeah, thanks. Let's do the celebration arms because Mabel was actually out in town with her friends, and she got some public transport to go back to my mum's, and had a curfew there. So I was thinking that's going to be a bit of a challenge because Mabel, as we pointed out, could kind of get a bit like carried away in the moment. But actually got there well ahead of like the time we said, so that they could all watch like a TV show together or like a
Is it?
and yeah, and they had a really like nice time. Um, Oscar had a bath there so the score of that will come later. Because I was not there at the bath, but some things I've been told about it will come into the scoring. But yeah, it was a win. But getting there, I'd done what I thought was textbook 2-hour work back. When then, there was loads of when then, but they'd stayed up late and they'd kind of got in up in the middle of the night. We've let them, not deliberately, but they'd been charging their phone in their room. Normally it comes downstairs and charges overnight for school, so we get some good sleep. And there was a bit more challenging classic teenager stuff, which every time I had that interaction, like, the pull the covers over, "Oh, I'm tired," I kinda left the room with a little, like, smile on my face. It's like, normal teen stuff. This is lovely." But I then was like, work back, work back, work back. And then I thought I got to the end where I was like, now, next time when I come back, so I'd done clothes, we'd done food, we'd done the whole thing. Then you get in the car, and we were on a bit of a schedule because, Laura and I were happened to go away for the evening, and I was like, this is a job to get through so that we can have some joy. And there was just a moment then when the clothes that Oscar wanted to wear, I'd communicated something to them. They didn't want that, but I hadn't communicated that to me. So then they went to Laura. I'm like, I don't understand what's happening. And I kind of went, well, you're just doing that and that and that. And then Oscar went, no, that's not for wearing out of the house. And then they got super stressed. And then I found it really difficult to not be annoyed, because that's a 2 and a bit hour when then calm, like I'll go there, then I'll come back in 10. And they had to pack the tech that they wanted in a bag and the type of bag they wanted to change. And it was just all okay until I was like last minute. So I just went and said, well, I'll be in the car. So I got in the car, and then Laura came to the car. I was like, are they okay? She was like, no, this is a lot. I think they're not maybe looking forward to it like they had been, or like they hadn't let us know. And I was like, okay, cool. So it was on me that I'd added negativity to the situation, because it was like Oscar didn't like that they'd done it wrong and they were blaming himself and saying sorry a lot. So we just had to build it back, and that's where the kind of anger came in. Like I was like really angry that I'd done all of this stuff and it hadn't quite worked. We dropped off. There was no crying. There was no tears. We were okay. We regulated. And they were amazing. They had a really great sleepover. But it was just super challenging, because I think part of it is that passing thing. So like Oscar sometimes like passes for neurotypical if you're not looking for the things, right? Just gets on, goes around, walks, talks, interacts. But I think I'd just assumed that we had got to a point where 2 hours of when, then, and getting them ready to leave the house just works. But sometimes it doesn't, and you have to just remember to take a breath and take a chill pill. Interestingly, the opposite happened the following day when I had to get them out to take their mother-in-law shopping. I said, when I come back, then we'll get dressed to take more shopping. Oscar got dressed straight away and then got annoyed at me that I'd said we were going shopping, because he'd obviously heard just that bit. So yeah, a challenging week in terms of like how I'm thinking about his gaming, and just some remembering that if it's a transition, to just give yourself extra time and extra calmness. But yeah, transitions I think are probably the thing that everyone realizes that they have in common if you're parents of neurodiverse kids, because you find a way, then you think you cracked it, but then it's just again just staying calm. I've mentioned that many times in this podcast. Like, if you keep yourself calm, but it's tough, super tough.
Yeah, no, I can resonate with that process of, right, I'm trying to get everything done by this time. And you work backwards and go, right, for this to happen, let's do all this stuff. And then, when it doesn't, when the wheels slowly start coming off, trying to hide that frustration is
particularly if you've been winning, it's a real change.
Yeah, you're like, we're smashing it. And then literally 2 things happen. And then,
and like, also sometimes those things are legitimately things to be pissed off about. Like like that's pissed me off, I'm upset. It's okay for you to see that emotion, but we need to talk it through. So yes. Well, shall we move on to wins?
Absolutely. So my win,
new friends. Sorry, I don't.
Yeah. It's been, you've already grazed the subject matter with as you are involved in this win. So the reason that it's been so lovely this week is that Frankie is really starting now to like be more open to interacting with other people. He does it in his own very unique way. My constant joke when he is starting to interact with other people is not exactly the best way to start a friendship with someone, Frank. But his mind is basically you either exist or you don't.
Oh,
So
okay.
so if you come round or he comes to you, he might just walk in and be like, he'll scan the room and go, okay, cool. But he might not interact with anyone or wherever else, and he's like, he can just get by, it's fine. And now he's seeming to get a bit more comfortable with engaging people. But then when he does so, it can be. Oh, you haven't seen Wedding Crashers, have you? I was going to say, like, it can be like a little.
I have.
Oh, so he can be
I
like
just
a
can't
little.
remember it.
He can be a little grade 10 clinger. He gets a bit too friendly and obsessive, and
Well,
slash wants to be your shadow.
hold on a second. Whose criteria?
Well,
Because remember,
yeah, I know.
he's rocking into those social interactions without any verbal language.
Yeah, so
he's going to have to communicate in some ways. But yeah, I know what you mean. You're stood there watching, going, that's probably a bit of an social overreach in terms of like how you're communicating.
But yeah, so it started on Friday. The first one was Friday, and obviously Saturday morning when you come over. So we went to the Sen gym on Friday again. Transition was much better. My other win was his transitionings this week in night and day on last week. So he had 2 days of his Sen club. The last time we went, it took like a half hour to get him in the room. There was loads of noises.
Yeah, I remember.
This week, as we drove up, just to go back. So this week when we went, as we was driving down the main road to go to the place, he put his hand on my hand. I was sitting next to him in the back. And then as we were pulling in, he kind of leant and tilted his head, so he was resting it on my shoulder. As we drove around.
Wait. He initiated the how to get out of the car that you struggled with last week.
So as we were driving to the location, he started with a hand, then he started to lean on my shoulder, and I'm like, it's okay, babe, we'll just see, we'll get there. When Daddy gets there, I'll get out, I'll open the door, and we'll go from there.
Right, yeah.
But there was no noises on this occasion, so I just opened the door, my mum got out, we were both standing there. I went and saw if they were open. As soon as I opened the door, Frank just got out the car and run straight in, and I was like, oh, okay, I'll go get your bag. So that was great. And then the next day, because he had back-to-back days, which was a slight change of the routine because it was an additional, we did the same thing, but on the approach on that one, he just put his hand on my hand. He didn't do the lean in, and he did the same thing. We opened the doors, I got the door open, and then he ran straight through. So his progression on transitioning there was really good. On Friday, we went to the Sen gym again, and we had the same challenge last week where I successfully managed to get him out of the car in half the time I did on that Wednesday. This time we didn't need it. We parked out front. It took like a minute. I was like, come on, let's go. And then he jumped out and ran in. But there was a lot of new people. It wasn't a busy session, but it was Amy's cousin was there with her sister and some of their kids, and there was one or two other parents that I kind of like I recognize but aren't speaking to. Not because I don't want to, it doesn't always work, the geography of how kids go, the motifs of how everyone plays.
Hello, let's start a conversation. Oh, I'm sorry, I have to go. This is happening. Yeah,
exactly. So there was a dad there. I don't think I've seen him before, but he was doing pull-ups on the free running part of the gym. They've just opened this they do free running classes.
Cool.
And I just saw Frankie jumping up and down, stimming like, oh my God, what you are doing is great. And then he looked at me and I'm like, bud, I'm sorry, but this guy's dad is like a gym guy. He's ripped. The guy can do more than I'm going to be able to do for a long time. But Frankie really, really liked it. So he then wanted to, with my help, we were climbing up onto the thing. He was touching the bars, and I was like, and then he wanted to get up my shoulders, and then I basically started to do this so he can emulate him doing the pull-ups, and he was like, this is great. He got on then I put him on the floor because he wanted to get down. He then ran over, grabbed this guy by the hand, and dragged him back to and I was like,
Wonder how this
Frank.
goes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like, he was smiling. I was like, okay, come on then. And then he went, all right, I'll do another 5. He did another 5, and Frank's like, and then he went to walk away, and then Frank went and grabbed him by the hand and pulled him back. And I was like,
Okay.
baby, he has got his own son to play with as well, and his son was great. He was just stimming and having a great time. But yeah, that probably happened on and off for about half hour, 40 minutes. And when we weren't trying to kidnap him to come over to do this bit, I'm having to do all the stuff with Frank there. So I was like, I'm actually really tired now, Frank, because I've basically been doing pull-ups for you.
It sounds like a win-win, to be fair.
But yeah, so that was
That's
really
great.
good with it, because obviously we're in an inclusive space to start with.
Yeah.
And then obviously you came around on the Saturday morning. He recognised you, took you straight into the garden. He asked you to sit down the way Frankie does, a hard tug in front of a chair, and he got a bit more. It was lovely, personal with you, because he wanted to explore. It was lovely face.
Because I said, because there were 2 chairs in the garden, and the second time, because he wanted to look at my earring, I tried something, as I always do when I speak to NeuroDADverse kids. I was like, oh, I sit there, you sit there. And he made a noise, right, like a vocal stim, which basically was, no, that's my chair. He's got that like camping chair.
Yeah.
And then you went, oh, no, that's Frank's chair. And I was like, yeah. And my brain was like, he just told me, which is totally fine. But it was nice because, all of the years of experience of like, oh, how far can I push it? And I was asking him to stop with my hand, and he didn't always, because, he found something he wouldn't want to do. But what I found interesting was that if I was putting in a boundary of like, no, stop now, please. No, thank you. He would just go run and stim. Like, he didn't what do I say? It didn't deregulate,
No, I think he enjoyed the challenge of, all right, I'll do a quick lap of the garden and then I'll try this again. Which is
but
persistent.
Because there's gonna be times when he's communicating with adults and they're gonna be like, no, I don't want to do that. Even like people in the most well-meaning way. So he's gonna, so it's nice. Yeah. Lovely stuff. We're still on wins, right?
Still on wins. Tell me your win.
Well, my win comes to do with athletic. This is not a football podcast, but I did go to Charlton Athletic yesterday and we won, and it was amazing. We're back, but not another tangent. There was Sunday morning football for Mabel today. She's had a couple of days where she's been kind of like out. She had a couple of sleepovers with some friends. She also had a sleepover at my mum's. It's been sunny, so she's been out doing kind of long days and maybe not necessarily regulating in terms of rest. So I was not sure how today was going to go. It was an early get up and about an hour drive to where the game was, pre-season stuff. And I was deaf, and on the way she was very like newly hyper focused on a particular group of songs. So it's like Hamilton, that's what they watched with Nana.
Oh,
and she knew it already, and she was like, oh, I can sing this. And she was like, oh, I was singing, and my friends the other day were really surprised that I could sing really long. Can I sing it for you? Can I sing it for you? And basically, she's in that space, so you have to kind of like let her go. A couple of her teammates are in the car as well, so she's just fully just like singing away beautifully, awesome stuff. And then also kind of like halfway through the song, oh, not this one, I want to do that one, like kind of like flittery and like not necessarily, she wasn't in a necessarily focused way. Then there was a road diversion, and I had to like, oh, can you stop? You need to direct me on my Google Maps, please, because I didn't see this thing on my sat nav. And that got a little bit like, she was like, oh, I don't want to do that anyway. And I was just kind of cautious, like, team that hadn't really played before, team from a division above. I was like, okay, let's see how you do today, Mabes, because you seem to be a bit of a not focused one. She had what her coach called the best game of her life. And she was just doing some reading of the game, and nothing like communicating was good. She just, I think the kids call it locked in. She just locked it right in and was like, I'm playing today. And she felt really, really proud of of herself. So yeah, it was a lovely little joyful football moment. But we're a little bit early on this because I'm about to attempt a table dinner after this. So
Oh,
maybe it'll be a great Sunday. But either way, it was a wonderful win. And she kind of locked in and felt proud of herself.
how did they do game-wise? What was the
Well, they
result?
won. They
Oh, they
won.
did.
Yeah, they won. Yeah, it
So
was
they
really
beat
good.
a team above. That's amazing.
Yes. Well, they were above last year. They've been moved into their league this year.
Okay.
So yeah, good. Yeah, it was joyful. All of the girls did really well, but it was pleasing to see Mabes kind of be both of herselves, like her super focused, kind of intense competitiveness, and also her like, beautifully unhinged singing all the way for an hour drive in the car. So it's great.
That's amazing. And I love that you might continue the wins post-pod. Love that.
Got a question or want to share a story? Drop us a message on Instagram or email us at NeuroDADverse@gmail.com. Look after yourselves. Hi, welcome back into the NeuroDADverse. Now it's time for the best named bit of the podcast. It's our look ahead to the week ahead. Dan, do you know what you're doing next week yet?
Yes and no.
Okay,
But
cool.
I'm confident in both those answers.
Every week as a parent of neurodiverse children, and maybe some parents of neurotypical children. But this is where we look ahead to the week and think about what might come into our challenges or wins for next week.
So my next week is it's going to be very different actually. It was in a nice way. So Monday, Frankie is at his Zen club. Tuesday, I'm actually hosting a play date with someone that it's only taken, like, I swear, nearly a year and a half, maybe. I think we tried to do it last summer and it just hasn't happened. So a friend of one of my good uni friends who lives local, she has an autistic child. And we've said, look, we should hang out. Like, we spoke a little bit in person and online. We work. She's in the creative industry as well. I was like, we should try another play date.
Is the kid similar age to Frankie?
I think a year or so younger,
Okay.
18 months younger. So, we've tried. We've had a few dates locked in, and just life happens. Like,
Yeah, of course.
we were ill, they were ill. Like,
Yep.
stuff happens. So I'm actually really looking forward to that. That was arranged a few weeks ago. And then from Wednesday onwards, Amy's actually off for 4 or 5 working days.
Amazing.
So she's off second half of next week, start of to the middle of next week. So that's we don't have super fun plans. We have got pencils of different things to do. So that's why I'm like, I do know what I'm doing, but I also don't know what I'm doing. Looking forward to that. We're gonna do some out days. We'll do some in-day stuff. I'll probably do a little bit of work as well, because when someone else is around, then it means I can slide off, edit a podcast and stuff like that. So yeah, but it'll just be nice to have some more family.
You're doing a
days.
podcast?
Don't tell anyone. So
it
yeah,
still doesn't feel like a podcast. That's the thing. I mean, it obviously does, but when we do it, it's just getting together to chat about wins and challenges. I love it. Sorry, I interrupted you. Go ahead.
No, so it's all good. So yeah, we're just looking forward to having like a family time. Basically, this middle week is us. So.
Do you have like a dream thing that you'd want to go do when you've got that time together with Frank?
So some of the conversations and ideas we're scoping out. Would like to do a beach day if possible.
Nice.
We had a super successful. We were really anxious about it. Actually, we did it wasn't Easter because we went away for the
May half term.
May half term. We went away. The holiday before that.
Yep.
He had a random inset day on a Friday, and no one else did. So we went, we'll go down, let's try the beach because there's going to be no one there. Literally,
Yeah,
there's
cool.
four people on the beach. We had a great day, train travel, everything works out. So we've had a really good experience of that. So
Okay, cool.
if we can emulate maybe half of that, that would still be a huge win. So we're thinking of that. But we also might try and go with some friends. A couple of the clubs, I think Eric Stream will definitely be. We still haven't made it there yet. I think Eric Stream could be on the list.
I keep going, hoping to see you.
Well, it's just I say this week's just gone so quick as well. Just like I said, the reason it's gone quick is I haven't had as much FaceTime with him this week just because he's been at clubs, he's had other stuff. So, yeah, like I can't believe we're in the middle of the summer already. It doesn't
Amazing.
feel like that, which is lovely. But I'm not wishing it away either. So I'm actually looking forward to we can just be really reactive to.
Yeah,
I mean,
how things are.
yeah,
Weather too, right? We're supposed to be getting a bit more, maybe. Anyway,
yeah.
challenge-wise, I think that might come into next week, but maybe not. Maybe all the regulation from a couple of weeks ago and that'll heat wave. We'll see.
You'll just have to tune in next week and listen to see how it goes.
What
about you, sir?
You keep reminding me that it's a podcast. Yeah, so we've got quite a full packed week. It was not by design, but there's quite the outs. Laura's got a couple of work days, but other than that, tomorrow we've booked an out. Wednesday we've booked an out. And Friday we've booked an out.
Okay.
So
and
there
you're
might be
in on the others, I'm assuming.
Yeah, there might be a bit of an out on the Thursday because I might need to go and do a the kids' grandma like drop off for them to do their shopping. But the outs are an open top bus with their nana.
Nice.
Which who knows? Nana wanted to do it. We were like, yep, cool. Let's see how that goes. Mabel will be fine. She buses solo all the time. Not really sure what I was going to think of that. And some friends who I haven't seen for a long time got in touch and said they are coming to us. So we're going to go to the beach with them.
Nice.
So there'll be lots of, the kids will go with us as well. And Laura and I had a good experience 2 summers ago where we took the kids here. And we were like...
I love how you said it like this. We had a great experience whilst crushing face.
We did have a good experience. We were surprised by how well they took to it, to be honest. If we were podcasting then, I think I would have said I'm really scared of it. I'm having those same anxieties now because we haven't done it for a couple of years. But they're kind of excited about what it is now. They can remember it. They're going to go away.
Oh, nice.
So they are going to be climbing, helping each other along, jumping into nets, and it's just a big sensory overload. But they are just young enough to do it at the kind of kids thing. So yeah, there's lots of potential for this week to go absolutely wrong. In and around that,
or amazingly well.
Yeah,
as well.
I guess yes.
It could be like the best week of your life.
If we get through the week and there's those 3 outs, potentially 4 outs have gone off without a hitch, I will be surprised. But I will also be trying to sit in the joy of those things. It's A-level results week as well, so I won't have to physically go to work, but there might be a bit of I don't know, I might log in. I don't have to, but I might log in and see if some of those students need some support. But yeah,
how does that work now? Do you go into school and collect? When I had my results, I remember having to go in and you get envelopes, or is it all done online now?
To get the results, you can go in to get your thing, but if you have an application for, I think you do get them sent electronically, depending on what you ask the school to do.
Right.
In
Okay.
terms of if you have a university application, you will know if your place is confirmed before the results come out, basically.
Right. Yeah.
So,
Spoiler.
well, yes, but then not the podcast for
Sorry.
this, but yeah, that's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
I am
Talk about
still
work.
on holiday, Dan. It's fun. So I don't. Yeah, that might be a bit of a curve, but in and around that, Laura and I have decided we've been studying for a long time, but this summer just seemed like the one for me to go. We're painting the room today, and Laura was equally like they'd picked out the colours, but those like colour swatches things just kind of stay sometimes. And we don't necessarily put things into action. So I just kind of said, today's the day we're doing this. And Laura was like, oh, great. And she smashed it. So I was like, oh, I want to do this again. Except the room that we're doing has a lot more prep and organisational work. So planned that in for next weekend too. So the next time I see you, I might be paintbrush in one hand going, oh, yeah, well, what was your challenge? Doing this podcast while we're supposed to be renovating. But yeah, good fun. Lots to look forward to.
That's amazing.
Cool.
Can I ask on the how much like what's the right term here? Let's get this right. How much signposting, that's the word, do you give the kids for, so like you're doing Go 8 tomorrow, would you wake up and go, we're doing Go 8 today? Or would you be like 3 weeks
No,
time, you're like, we're doing this? Because with Frankie, that's kind of something that
At the start
usually
of
we just go, we're doing this today, or
the
tomorrow.
start-
I might whisper it to him, tomorrow we're doing this, like sleep well, let's do it. Because they've got more
it will differ. Cinema will be on the day thing.
Spontaneous.
So like, well, we'll have booked it and we'll just say later on today, we're going to go to see this. But unless they've asked, can we go see this? Then we'll see. But in terms of the Go Ape thing, yeah, we told Oscar, we told them Friday. So next week we'll do that, and they would like because I think I might have said we had one of my wins earlier in the podcast where we had to have a table dinner, and the conversation was, what are the things that you've enjoyed that we've done around here for summer activities? And we reminded them of some of the things. So we just went ahead and were like, cool, we'll do that. When do you want to do it? And Laura and I kind of penciled it in and then actioned it on the Friday if we felt it was, if we felt it was appropriate. So there's a bit of signposting. Sometimes we say like we're going out and then they'll ask us in the car. So yeah, I think it's, you kind of just feel it as it's going on. So like if the kids are particularly anxious and asking like if Mabel's going, where are we going? What are we doing? Obviously I'm not going to withhold the information. But sometimes for it's important to go, we're going out, we're going in the car. And then when in the car, then we'll tell you where we're going. But if that does or doesn't frustrate. So yeah. I think for me, in terms of transitions, get them in the car, take them to a thing, and then they can work it out when they're there is something that I used to do all the time. So we'd go to a soft play, or we'd go to there's a little zoo that also has a soft play near where we are. And when they were young, if I was soloing it, I remember just thinking, I don't think they could conceive that it'll be fun we're going to the zoo when they were young. I think Mabel could. I'm just using the Oscar's pronouns in the way that they would like me to. So yeah, also Oscar would like that when they were there, that running around seeing the goats or whatever. But I don't think they could conceive we're going to it's going to be we're going to the beach today. We're going to this today. So it's nice to be able to go, you're going to the thing, and them have a reaction. So they, first of all, went, oh my God, that again, because they remember just dangling in the air. And Mabel was frustrated and going, well, why have you fallen off? It's like, we're just at the bottom going, this is good. This is good sibling bonding. So in
Oh,
answer
so
to your
you're not on there
question,
with them. You're not on there with them. You're watching
let
from a
me
distance.
tell you something. I have climbed enough self-play, all of that stuff. No,
Right.
the 2 years ago we went, should we just book for them to do it? Like, in the moment, we're like, they could just do this themselves. It says they can. And then we were both, remember us both standing, walking underneath the thing going, oh, they've got the harness on, but that's not the issue. If they deregulate up there, what are we going to do? And the fact that they got through it unscathed and kind of, yeah. But yeah, I don't climb anymore.
That's fair. That's fair.
Um,
He's hung up the
yeah.
climbing boots.
Yes, well, I didn't have any to begin with, but yeah, like I kind of have to do the things, you know, if there's an age limit on a thing where you can do it yourself, I think we're now in the headspace of like, okay, fine, and we'll roll with what happens with what happens. If they
Amazing.
completely deregulate and just like absolutely need to get down, our argument is, well, the people who work there have dealt with this before. So like you can lower that stress a bit. It does, I've been tune in next week to see how I managed
all
to
gonna
do that,
go
because it
fine.
might be
Yeah.
it's gonna go anyway. But it's like that risk taking thing, right? Taking Frank to send Jim is a risk, because not every interaction with your gym guy friend, grab the hand, move over, is a good one. Like they might reject that, and that's okay too, but you've got to take the risks. Otherwise,
Yeah, totally.
I mean, it's different for all kids. I'm not saying keeping your kid in the house if that's what they need for their sensory is good, but you know, taking those risks. And actually, I think the journey that I made on it is that other people are the other people, the other adults are the other adults, and if they're not comfortable with how Oscar is behaving, I'm here for Oscar. So I said the thing about throwing the cards. If you want to know why this is happening, you can read the back of cards if you like. I'll tidy them up later. Like, got to take that risk, you know.
Yeah, totally.
And that's had some really hairy moments in my life. But I think, on balance, it means that we're a little bit less anxious about doing stuff this week.
No, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, very, very different weeks then for us
Yeah.
both. That's good.
Yeah, I've
That'll
got
make
loads
interesting
planned.
chat.
You've not got a lot planned, but yeah, I hope.
My
I hope
life's
those
always
things.
in pencil, and when you're a parent, everything's in pencil, right? Like,
Yes, it's only the education system that puts it in pen.
I like that. That's good.
But yeah,
Well, in our trade,
you have to be here at this time.
yeah. Well, it's
anyway.
a very much a work thing as well. Like pen confirmed,
Yeah,
pencil, heavy pencil, pen. But yeah, I'm just like pretty much my whole life is pencil, because shit happens and you have to deal with it sometimes.
Yeah, of course. It's rolling with the punches. Right. Do you want to do some bath time scores?
Yes. Trying to recall, last bath was it yesterday? Saturday? Friday? Yeah, another sort of mixed week with Willy Won't He. I'm glad I don't put money on this, because when I'm like, yeah, 100% he's going to do it today. Yeah. But
that's nice though, because the kids that you have are supposed to surprise their parents. That's what their job is.
Exactly. It's the thrill of life. I think the last time he's been actually getting quite tired. The byproduct of doing the Sen Club in the environment that they're doing is, I think it just shakes his Coke can, or he goes for his spoons, whatever, you know, that narrative of explaining to people that might not be able to understand. the sensory
So
overload.
does Frankie still experience bath as like stimulation rather than I don't know what the opposite is, like
Relaxation.
relaxation, chill out.
So when he was really enjoying baths, he would get in and he would like proper lay down, like
Okay.
let the water. And he did actually start doing that early last week. And here we go, we're getting to where we was in a nice safe place. So he had a couple of baths where he was like, I'm going to enjoy this, and then again he's just had a couple where he's like, nah, this is a quick in and out. Maybe sort of washing him on the towels while we got the iPad out once to help as well. But another sort of just thing that he's been doing the last week, it's not a challenge, it's not a win. It's definitely not a win. When he's been doing his stimming around the garden, which you obviously got a very brief look on Saturday, he's now started to get slightly clumsy in the sense that he keeps catching his feet on the ground, which is then scraping his feet, and he's fallen over
And he's
on
a
2
free feet
occasions.
kid, right? He likes
Yeah,
to like no socks and shoes in the house, just wants to run in his free feet.
Yeah, so his sensory, like he will put shoes and socks on. That's a sign that we're going out, and that's a sign that he's willing to go out if he wants you to do those things. But as soon as he feels comfortable, they come off. So yeah, he's actually like really scraped the skin off of his big toe, like right up to his nail. We got a bit sort of hanging off that we're trying to do bath time after this pod, to just, that will soften it, and maybe we can sort of get it off, because he keeps looking at it and he's pulling at it. And I'm like,
Yeah.
it's just like the tooth all like last week. I'm just like, oh, it's just dangling.
I was going to
there,
say,
but
how are you? How's your squeamish? It's like a
no,
horror trilogy for you.
no, I just, yeah. I mean, the
Yeah.
tooth thing, I'm still like, I still don't understand it. It was just the
Sorry if
sound of
you're
that
squeamish
crunch.
and you're listening.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
it gets
but he
when the
didn't care.
podcast gets gross. No,
He
okay.
he didn't care. But yeah, like he did this yesterday, just before me and Amy went out. We're like, don't go in the garden anymore. He gets a bit tired. So about sorry, ADHD storytelling, going
That's okay.
back to, so around 3 or 4 o'clock now, he is kind of more tired, more prone
Okay.
to making these mistakes. So trying to do bath time sort of between the 5 and 6 mark, where a usual school routine would happen, is becoming slightly more challenging, just because I think he's like, I'm done. I just want to lay in bed. He's literally like, can I just go to bed instead? He's laying in the bed looking at us. And we're like, you're dirty. Come on. Like, come and wash your feet at least. So you don't have dirty feet in the bed. But yeah, so the last one was okay. I'll say it was like a 6, but there was like a promising 8 at the start of the week, when he just looked like he's treating it like a spa again, and he's just like proper.
A promising 8. 8 sounds great.
I think by our scores, 8 is amazing. I think anyone would take an 8 every day of the week. But yeah, I suppose again, it's just a really up and downy, turbulent, inconsistent thing. So it started off well, but last bath time, I think it's just a 6.
So Wednesday was the bath time last week. The bath day, because they stay over at
Yeah. Tell.
well, I think for the first time in podcast history, I'm going to, on the back of, I'm just looking at the thing, on the back of week today. Yeah, on the back of last week's not applicable, because we didn't end up having one, because things got away from us. And to be quite frank, we sometimes get a bit lazy, because it's like, what,
I get it.
where are they going? What are they doing? Yeah, I don't think that's a shameful thing to say. I think once parents listening will be like, yep.
It's practical.
But we are also a once a week thing, which is a challenge at the moment, as they're a teenager and hormones and stuff. But yeah, for the first time in podcast history, I'm giving it a 10. Just quite 10 out of 10 bath time. From what I heard about it, not only did they request it, I think, from Nana,
Wow.
they went and did it pretty much solo, but I think my mum ran it. But the post bath, which is often the transition and the sensory overwhelm, and a lot of you have to work in partnership. Do I hold the hairdryer? Do you? What parts of your body can, like, I touch with the towel? Like, try to negotiate that, and just them being like, I'm led to believe that Mabel helped with that massively.
Okay.
Oscar's got over shoulder length hair, so
Okay, so hair's a big process.
Yes, yes. Apparently, Mabel like combed it through and like dried it and was just like my mum said, she was awesome with Oscar, and I can't imagine bath time without kind of negotiation or resistance. So the fact that like, and my mum would tell her like it is, like, so yeah, it was just wonderful. And it's not like I didn't have to do it, so it's a 10. It's like the actual stories that my mum gave me were, that they wanted to do it. They had to do nails as well. Like they, Oscar had to clean their nails. They do it with like a toothbrush. So, and a lot of that was unfamiliar. Like we got them to pack their bag, but I don't know what I've not delved into it too much because it was great, but they had a lot of processes that I thought were going to be a challenge, but no, absolutely smashed it. So
Same time next week then.
first 10 out of 10. Yeah, I said, Mum, can you come and do bath time every Sunday? It'd be really boring for the podcast, wouldn't it? But yeah. So yeah.
Well, there's always another part of life we can deep dive into, I suppose. But yeah, no, that's incredible, mate. No, that's awesome. And so, do you have any any information on why the request? Like, is it a particularly nice bathroom? Is it like my brain's doing overtime on questions here? Like,
we said to Mum, Oscar needs to have a bath. If they don't, can he just do their nails? Mum went, we'll see how we go. And to me, that meant if he's not into it,
I won't push.
If Oscar's not into it, Mum won't push, and they'll just have a nice time with them. So, yeah, I think the request was we'd asked. So, do you know what? I don't know why, and I don't
just ignore my question.
And I'm confident.
Yeah.
No, it's a good
Take
question.
the win.
I hadn't thought about it. Yeah, no, because I think the reason I love it so much is like the cognition is I need to clean myself. And that's been a big challenge. Like, why do I have to have a bath? And we're obviously trying to communicate, like, be clean. Yeah, it's just good.
That's
it's a good,
awesome,
joyful thing. We're putting it down. You said you were 5, optimistic 8, was it?
No, 6. I said 6.
6.
Averaging
out.
Yeah.
6.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Optimistic.
A 10. That's for those of you not watching us on YouTube. I did push back and jump up, and yeah, that was quite a reaction.
Yeah, it's great.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's good.
That's awesome.
And it's just nice. It's just nice to have the optimism and the joy from grandparents or family members.
And Mabel helping as well is really cool.
Yeah, and maybe this will all fall down at Go 8 tomorrow, but they really, like I've said before, they really seem like they kind of get each other and they're there for each other.
That's nice.
But they can spend a whole week where they don't really spend time with each other within the house. So it's nice they kind of get it and they just see each other for who each other is.
No, that's awesome.
But yeah, and it's nice, as I said, for family members to go on that journey and kind of when they say to you, oh, actually, this was good, actually.
Yeah, bath time's not a problem. What are you talking about?
Yeah, well, yeah, the different context. But no, in a nice way, it's like, it was good, actually. And that kind of, I see that translated as, I thought this was going to be really challenging because of the needs. But actually, and it kind of, I used to think that kind of made me think, oh yeah, but you don't see how tough it is. But now as the kids are teens, I kind of go, yeah, good. But what you're saying is you thought it was going to be much, like you're obviously older, but so it's nice to hear that because when they've been there and seen it in terms of go poorly, I say poorly, what am I saying? Deregulated and really stressful. They think it's going to be like that, but when it's not, they're pleasantly surprised. It's nice. Yeah. Good stuff.
Brilliant week, mate. I'm so pleased for you.
Yeah, no,
Everyone.
good.
That's
And
good. That's really good.
yeah. Sounds like you had a good result. We should meet up every week, and then that's
Well,
probably the.
Cholton do have 100% win rate when we meet up beforehand.
Oh no! Yeah, well, yay! But for the fine.
I did tell Amy that last night. I was like, just so you know, if Cholton keep winning every time I see Ben before a game, then I'll take one for the team and don't always have to go to all the games. But if that's what it takes, like, I'll play my
Yeah, no,
part.
we've got to go. We've got to get you along. You've got to come along.
Yeah, 100%. I look forward to it.
All right. Too much football tangent. We'll get complaints. But if you've been enjoying our chats of our wins and losses, if you've got a similar win or a similar challenge, did I just call them losses? Oh no, that's bad. I used a banned word. Sorry. If you have been having a listen to our chat and you've been enjoying sharing our challenges and our wins, or if you've been resonating with some of the bath time chats, or you've got some tips on how to manage some things like transitions, please just get up to our social media. We are at the NeuroDADverse, or you can email us at neurodadverse@gmail.com. We're looking forward to reaching out and having some conversations, and perhaps having some of you guys on, because if you've been listening, it'll be clear that we are not pros in this area, but we've just got experiences. So it would be lovely to reach out and have some chats to you. For now, though, I've been Ben. That's been Dan. This has been the NeuroDADverse.
Win the week.
That's about it for the NeuroDADverse. We'll be back next week.
If you laughed, cried, or nodded in tired agreement, don't forget to follow us and leave a review. It helps more parents find us.
Just remember, you're doing great.
You are enough, and you are definitely not alone.
Got a question or want to share a story? Drop us a message on Instagram or email us at neurodadverse@gmail.com. Look after yourselves.